Patrons filled the bank that luminous morning. Golden rays streamed through expansive glass windows, painting brilliant stripes across the gleaming marble floor. Professionals in tailored suits tapped restlessly on their devices, rustling documents, and checking the mounted timepiece while awaiting service. Among this refined atmosphere, a figure who appeared entirely misplaced entered the establishment. This was Mr. Harlan, a towering elderly gentleman bearing a lined face, silver whiskers, and garments that appeared to have endured countless years of labor. His plaid shirt had lost its vibrancy, his denim bore holes throughout, and a wide-brimmed hat had protected him from the scorching heat outdoors. He advanced deliberately, gripping a worn leather billfold in his rough palms, his arrival attracting inquisitive glances from the surrounding crowd. This was not Mr. Harlan's initial visit to a financial institution, yet the burden of scrutinizing stares consistently made him desire to disappear completely. The affluent customers in their pristine attire observed him with both sympathy and disdain. The employees appeared hesitant to acknowledge his presence. However, today his purpose was straightforward. His intention was to verify his account status simply to ensure all was in proper order. He had labored throughout his existence in anonymity, never displaying his fortune or bragging about his achievements. This choice frequently resulted in others undervaluing him. While he waited in queue, the institution's branch supervisor, Victor Morrow, emerged from his transparent office. Victor embodied everything Mr. Harlan was not. Youthful, attractive, and flawlessly attired in a navy suit complemented by a crimson necktie. He flourished on image and authority, frequently condescending to those he deemed worthless. His amusement echoed throughout the lobby when he noticed Mr. Harlan standing with his billfold. Victor elbowed his associate behind the counter and murmured something that prompted the employee's laughter. Subsequently, with sufficient volume for patrons to overhear, he mocked, "Should you possess any funds whatsoever, elderly gentleman, I shall compensate you twofold." The statement cut through the space like a razor. Discussions ceased, faces pivoted, and attention focused on the fragile man beneath the straw brim. Mr. Harlan averted his eyes, his frame burdened with silent grace. He offered no reply, made no protest. For decades, he had tolerated ridicule from those who evaluated based on exterior appearance. The anguish of being perceived as insignificant was recognizable, though that knowledge provided no comfort. What Victor remained unaware of, what none of them realized, was that the individual before them was not merely another destitute person. He was the proprietor of the very institution where they were employed, the unassuming chief executive who had constructed his domain piece by piece without ever boasting about it. Should you value compassion, dignity, and opportunities for redemption, pause now to appreciate this narrative, forward it to someone requiring encouragement, and follow Black Kindness so we may continue delivering meaningful stories. Leave your thoughts below if you believe genuine value cannot be determined by outward appearance. The teller eventually summoned Mr. Harlan forward, his tone colored with entertainment following Victor's remark. The aged gentleman approached the station, presented his identification, and waited with composure. The clerk entered data into the system, his confident expression wavering as the monitor revealed figures he had never encountered in a personal account. His eyes expanded, his mouth tightened, and he moved closer to verify the information. Countless zeros populated the display, a sum capable of acquiring the entire structure multiple times. His fingers quivered slightly as he breathed, "Sir, your account," before halting himself, noticing Victor's observation. Victor, detecting something amiss, swaggered forward with amusement. Surely you cannot claim he possesses anything substantial. Yet when the clerk paused uncertainly, Victor grabbed the emerging printout and became motionless mid-chuckle. His complexion whitened as he examined the balance, his conceit dissolving like vapor beneath sunlight. His hands quaked as he comprehended that this individual he had ridiculed was not merely prosperous, but the exact person whose endorsement controlled his professional future. The financial institution became silent. Patrons pressed forward, murmuring among themselves, while employees shared anxious looks. Mr. Harlan, maintaining his tranquil demeanor, collected the paper receipt, creased it, and placed it within his billfold. His words were measured, conveying authority that originated not from volume, but from authenticity. He regarded Victor and declared, "The true balance we possess resides not within a bank account, but in our treatment of fellow human beings." Following this statement, he pivoted to depart, his measured footsteps resonating like rumbling thunder in the stillness of the chamber. Victor's breathing became labored. His face flushed with humiliation, and instantly, every polished surface surrounding him appeared to reflect his callousness. The amusement he had previously treasured as influence now echoed in his consciousness as dishonor. Customers who had once respected his assurance now regarded him with scorn. Personnel who had obeyed his commands now recognized him for his true nature, an individual who derided the modest and submitted only to prosperity. However, Mr. Harlan had not concluded his message. Before reaching the entrance, he stopped, turned partially, and spoke to the entire reception area. His voice now carried gentleness, a resonance of compassion that penetrated every space. "I was raised in poverty. Each dollar I accumulated resulted from labor, dedication, and perseverance. I established this institution not to foster arrogance in individuals, but to provide families with optimism, to assist laborers in realizing their aspirations, to demonstrate that dignity must always precede material wealth. When you encounter someone appearing exhausted or weathered, remember you understand nothing of the hardships they have endured. Grant them the respect you would desire for yourself." The chamber remained motionless. Even the rhythmic sound of the wall timepiece seemed to halt as if existence itself was paying attention. Moisture appeared in the eyes of a young parent waiting in line. An elderly gentleman in the corner acknowledged slowly, placing his palm against his heart. Momentarily, it seemed as though reality had transformed, as if every individual in that bank had been compelled to examine themselves. Victor, nonetheless, remained paralyzed, embarrassed before his staff and clientele. Ego battled with remorse within him, and for the first time in years, he felt insignificant. Beyond that, he felt shattered, understanding he had built his career upon arrogance rather than dedication. Mr. Harlan exited the structure without additional commentary, his unassuming presence moving into the daylight, leaving behind a quietude that felt more substantial than any rebuke. That afternoon, rumors circulated rapidly. By evening, word of the incident had traveled to the corporate headquarters, and within days, Victor received a summons to meet with the board of directors. Seated at the table's head was Mr. Harlan, no longer wearing his straw hat, but dressed in a modest suit that still embodied his modesty. He observed Victor, not with rage, but with disappointment, and stated, "True leadership is not determined by the volume of your voice, but by the gentleness with which you address the quietest person present." Victor submitted his resignation shortly thereafter, incapable of enduring the burden of his disgrace, while the staff began to perceive their roles differently. Customers entered the bank with renewed reverence, recalling the tale of the gentleman in the straw hat, and Mr. Harlan continued his existence as he always had, modestly, peacefully, selecting humility over ostentation. For him, prosperity was never the objective. Honor was. In the subsequent years, the account of that morning was shared and reshared like folklore. Not merely regarding a disguised chief executive, but concerning a reality we frequently overlook, that outward appearances mislead, but integrity never falters. And somewhere within a sun-filled lobby among strangers, an elderly man had reminded humanity what authentic wealth truly represents. If this narrative moved you, please take time to appreciate, respond, and share this content with others. Remember to follow Black Kindness for additional stories that illustrate the strength of compassion and respect.